If you've been feeling unusually tired, struggling with money no matter how hard you try, or waking up each day with a heaviness you can't explain, don't blame it all on work, age, or the economy. Before anything else, take a moment to look out your window. Yes, that window, the one you pass by every morning, maybe without even glancing. What do you see? A tree too close, a billboard, a messy alley, or a power pole with wires crisscrossing the sky? What if I told you that what's outside your window could be silently draining your health and blocking your future, every single day? In traditional energy flow studies, windows are far more than just light sources. They're energetic gateways. Everything your window faces enters your home, not just visually, but vibrationally. That means the view outside can either support your body's healing, your mood, and your financial flow, or it can slowly, invisibly work against you. Most people think problems begin inside the house, but sometimes it's what stands right outside, what you've learned to ignore, that quietly throws everything off. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. In this video, I'll show you 6 specific taboo signs to look for outside your window. Each one seems harmless, familiar even, but together they create a silent storm that can leave your home tense, your body fatigued, and your life on pause. By the end, you'll not only know what to look for, but also what to do about it. Because real change doesn't start with willpower or wishing. It starts with awareness. So take a deep breath and look again. What's really standing outside your window? Part 1. A road pointing straight at you looks open but feels like pressure. You might think it's a blessing to have your window facing an open street. A straight road stretching far into the distance. No buildings in the way, nothing blocking the view. But what if that open path isn't opening your life, but pressing down on it instead? What if that long, straight road is why you're always exhausted, why your money doesn't seem to stay, why your home never quite feels settled no matter how you decorate or rearrange it? This is where modern logic and ancient observation collide. Because in the language of energy, a road pointing directly at your window doesn't mean freedom, it means force. Imagine this. You're sitting peacefully in your living room, coffee in hand, window wide open. In front of you, a road stretches straight like a runway. Cars rush by, headlights beam in at night, wind funnels down that path like a tunnel. You may not feel it consciously, but your body does. That constant forward surge doesn't pause, it doesn't rest. It's like a stream of energy pushing straight through your space, bringing noise, speed, and chaos. Your home, instead of being a shelter, becomes a target. The result? Your nervous system is always on guard, your sleep feels lighter, and your finances, they leak out as fast as they come in. This effect is subtle but relentless. People living in homes with piercing road views often experience repeated setbacks. Promotions get delayed for no reason. Savings disappear into sudden repairs, medical bills, or emotional spending. Relationships feel tense, conversations turn edgy, and there's always a sense that something is slightly off. Not disastrous, but never quite peaceful. And this constant background friction wears on your body and spirit over time. What's happening energetically is compression. That road acts like a fast-moving current slamming into your space without warning or welcome. Instead of energy flowing gently in and circulating, it blasts through, too fast to settle. You might notice pets avoid that window. Children play elsewhere. Even plants near that window might struggle to thrive. That's not coincidence. It's your home trying to protect itself the only way it can. And here's the thing, most people don't realize it. They assume it's stress, age, bad luck. But this is the kind of unseen influence that reshapes everything quietly. The road isn't bad, but its direction, speed, and alignment with your window creates a tension your nervous system is constantly absorbing. You don't even have to believe in energy fields to feel the difference between standing in a peaceful garden versus a wind tunnel. Your window, like your body, knows the difference. And when the energy flow outside your home doesn't align with the calm you want inside, something has to give. Now maybe you're thinking, but I can't move my house. And you don't need to. What matters is adjusting how that energy enters. Think of it like diffusing bright light. You don't block it completely, you soften it. If your window faces a straight road, especially a long one, you can buffer that flow. Add tall, leafy plants on the windowsill or outside the window if possible. Use soft, neutral-colored curtains that stay closed during peak traffic hours. A stone statue or ceramic vase placed near the window can act as a subtle energy anchor, slowing down what rushes in. You can even hang a gentle wind chime inside to stir and circulate energy. giving your space its own rhythm instead of matching the road's relentless pace. What matters most is this: reclaiming the window's role as a source of calm, not chaos. You're not just managing traffic or noise, you're shifting how your home receives energy. Instead of being pierced by an invisible arrow of motion, your space becomes a container, holding warmth, stillness, and focus. Over time, you may notice you sleep better, spend more intentionally, and feel more grounded in your space. You might not even connect it directly to the shift, but your body will know, and that knowing will ripple into everything you do. So ask yourself, what direction is your window looking into? Does it face a path that nourishes or one that demands? Does it offer peace or does it feel like pressure? This is not about superstition, it's about sensitivity. Your home is a living space, and just like your own body, it responds to everything around it. Roads aren't just asphalt, they're rivers of motion. And if your window opens to that current, day in and day out, something in your life may always feel like it's slipping away. But the good news is you don't have to stay stuck in that flow. With just a few mindful shifts, you can redirect how energy meets you. And when you do, your window becomes what it was meant to be, not a passageway for stress, but a threshold for light, breath, and stability. Because peace isn't built by luck. It's created by noticing what's been overlooked and choosing to do something gentle but powerful about it. Part 2. A giant tree blocking the light, shade that feels like a shadow. It sounds comforting, doesn't it? A large, old tree standing just outside your window, shade on a hot day. A touch of nature, something grounding and beautiful. But sometimes what we think is comfort turns into something else, something heavier. Because not all shade brings relief. Some shade slowly darkens more than just your room. It starts to dim your mood, your health, and the quiet joy that used to live in your home. If you wake up each morning to the view of a giant tree pressed up against your window, branches thick, leaves constantly rustling, you might not realize how it's shaping your day. It's subtle at first. The room feels a little colder even in summer. Light doesn't quite reach your favorite reading chair. Plants inside the house stop thriving. Your thoughts feel foggy, like the sunlight can't quite reach them either. And slowly, over time, you might notice you don't feel rested even after a full night's sleep. You get headaches more often. The air feels heavy even when the windows are open. This isn't just a poetic metaphor, it's an energetic reality. Trees, especially large or aging ones, carry their own frequency. And when they're too close to your window, they act like a sponge, absorbing light, blocking flow, holding moisture and shadows right at the edge of your space. Instead of a boundary between you and the world, your window becomes a filter of stagnation. You're looking out, but what's looking back is density, darkness, and stillness. Not peace, not protection, just weight. The problem isn't the tree, it's the relationship. When a tree stands too close, its roots grow under your walls, its branches touch your glass, and its shadow lives inside your house. That's not balance, that's intrusion. And over time, that intrusion becomes emotional. You might find yourself withdrawing from social interactions, delaying decisions, losing motivation to clean or move furniture. It's like the room has stopped breathing, and so have you. You may have noticed your sleep becomes dreamless. Your mornings feel like they start late, no matter the time on the clock. Children in the house get crankier, elders become more withdrawn, even pets choose other corners to rest in. It all feels a bit off, until one day you realize this corner of the house never gets light, never feels warm, never feels alive. That's not coincidence. That's blocked energy manifesting as emotional and physical fatigue. But here's the powerful part: you don't need to remove the tree. What you need is restoration of balance. The first step is space. If you can, trim the overgrown branches that touch or hover too close to the window. Open a gap for light to return. Not just visual light, but energetic clarity. If the tree is on shared or public land and trimming isn't possible, then soften its impact from the inside. Use light-colored, sheer curtains that welcome what little brightness does come through. Add warm lighting in that room, lamps with soft white or amber glow, not cold overhead lights. Place a blooming plant near the window. Something with color, life, vibrancy, like a geranium, a hibiscus, or even a simple peace lily. Let that plant act as a bridge between the shadow and your space. Its job isn't to block, but to transmute, from shade to softness, from stagnation to gentle movement. You can also hang a bamboo or wooden wind chime just outside the window. Its sound doesn't just soothe the mind, it stirs energy. It breaks up the silence that too much shade can create. Let that soft sound remind you and your home that movement still exists, that air is flowing, that you are not stuck. And if the heaviness has been long-standing, consider using scent as part of the healing. A natural essential oil diffuser with eucalyptus, orange, or lavender can lift the weight the eye can't see. The sense of smell connects directly to memory and mood. If your space has been dim and quiet for too long, fragrance can call in brightness before the sun does. Above all, don't ignore how your space makes you feel. That quiet unease you've been living with, that subtle sense that you're not as energized, not as connected, not as yourself as you used to be, may have everything to do with what's standing outside your window. The giant tree isn't an enemy, but it may be time to reintroduce boundaries, to say, I love the nature you bring, but I need light too. Because you deserve to wake up in a room that glows. A room where energy moves, thoughts flow, and hope doesn't feel muffled. Shade should bring coolness, not sadness. Trees should offer grounding, not suffocation. And your home, it should be a place where every corner has a chance to breathe. So the next time you look at that big tree outside, ask yourself, is this comforting, or has it become a quiet weight on my life? And if it has, what's one small thing I can do today to let the light back in? Part 3, tiny, dark, or always closed windows. You're not just suffocating them. It seems harmless at first. A window that's a little too small, a shade that's always drawn, a pane of glass that barely opens or hasn't been touched in weeks. Maybe it's in a room you don't use often. Maybe it's the one in your bedroom that faces the neighbor's wall. Maybe it's the kitchen window that feels more decorative than functional. But over time, what starts as no big deal becomes something much heavier. Because when a window stays shut, light starves, air stagnates, and something in you begins to slow down too. Let's be honest, life in modern homes doesn't always prioritize openness. We're told to block the sun to keep things cool, close windows to avoid dust, shut out noise, shield our privacy. And slowly we forget what fresh air actually feels like. We forget the warmth of morning light across a countertop. We stop noticing how a breeze lifts not just the curtains, but our spirits. If your home has windows that are always closed, too narrow to let in light, or so shaded they barely show the sky, you may be living in a space that's quietly starving for energy. And it's not just your home, it's you. Because when your living space doesn't breathe, your body starts to mirror that suffocation. You might feel tired even after a full night's rest. You may find your motivation slipping, your emotions dulling, your thoughts clouding like condensation on cold glass. This is how stagnant energy begins. It's not loud. It doesn't crash in like a storm. It lingers. It builds. It seeps into your routine until you stop singing in the kitchen. You stop lighting candles. You stop opening that window. Not because you don't want to, but because you forget how much better everything feels when you do. Have you noticed certain corners in your home where you just don't like to be? Places where the air feels thick, the light always seems gray, and no matter how clean it is, something feels off. That's not decoration, it's disconnection. That's energy asking to move. And windows are the primary way that movement returns. In energy terms, windows are more than just openings. They're portals. They allow the outside world to meet the interior of your life. Not just light and air, but clarity, vitality, and flow. When those portals are blocked, minimized, or unused, everything slows. Sleep becomes shallow. Digestion becomes irregular. Tempers flare more easily. You lose your creative spark. You feel caged even inside your own home. But here's the hopeful part. You don't need to renovate to fix this. You just need to reclaim the window's purpose. If the window is small, make the most of it. Use sheer curtains in light shades to maximize brightness. Clean the glass regularly, not just for dust, but as a symbolic gesture. I see you. I'm clearing space for something new. If the window doesn't open fully, open it as much as it allows. Let the air move. Let sounds from outside enter. Even soft neighborhood noise can remind your nervous system that the world is still spinning, that you're not alone. Add plants near the window, especially air-purifying ones like pothos, snake plants, or peace lilies. Let their leaves become living lungs for the room. Let their color call back the green you might be missing. Even one vibrant plant can soften the feeling of a confined space. If the room is still dim, use warm lighting, not bright white overhead lights, but soft lamps with golden glow. You're not chasing brightness, you're creating warmth. And warmth invites energy to return. It tells your body, this space is safe. This space is open. This space can hold your thoughts, your breath, your healing. Don't underestimate the emotional power of simply sitting by a window you usually ignore. Pour your morning coffee and sit there even for 5 minutes. Breathe. Notice what you see, trees swaying, clouds shifting, a sliver of sky between buildings. Let that visual reminder reconnect you to the outside world. Even the smallest window still holds the power to open something within you. And if the window has been shut for years, don't rush. Open it gently, let it creak. Let the air feel strange for a moment. That's not discomfort, it's rediscovery. It's you remembering how to let life in again. Because at the heart of this is a simple truth: every living thing needs light, every spirit needs space. And every home, no matter how small, deserves to breathe. So do you? So take a moment today to look at the windows you forgot. Touch them, clean them, open them if only a little. Let something new move through. Because sometimes the fastest way to shift your energy is to give your house the air it's been begging for. Part 4. Window directly facing the front door, money in, energy out. You might not notice it at first. The layout seems perfectly normal. Your front door opens and across the room, straight ahead, is a window. Clean, simple, logical. But day after day, something doesn't feel right. Money comes in but disappears just as quickly. You clean and organize, but the space never feels settled. Your family feels restless, sleep is shallow, tempers run short, and there's a strange sense that nothing is truly grounding. If this sounds familiar, your home might be experiencing one of the most overlooked yet impactful energy leaks. A front door directly aligned with a window. This layout creates what energy practitioners often call the tunnel effect. Imagine your home as a container, a sacred bowl that's meant to gather and hold warmth, intention, and life. Now imagine that bowl with two open ends. Energy enters through the front door and immediately rushes out the back, never circulating, never settling. It's not just air that flows too fast, it's luck, focus, peace, even money. What should nourish your life slips away unnoticed. Many people who live in this setup report feeling constantly on edge. It's like living in transit, in a place where nothing stays long enough to take root. They struggle with financial instability, not because they don't work hard, but because their environment doesn't support the holding and growing of abundance. Conversations at home may feel incomplete, tasks start but rarely finish, and there's always this pressure to fix something without knowing what's really broken. It's exhausting. This isn't superstition, it's spatial psychology and energy awareness. Homes, like bodies, need rhythm. They need pause. A home where energy shoots straight through is like trying to sleep while someone keeps opening the door and turning on the light. You never fully rest. You never fully arrive. If your home has this direct alignment, door-facing window, the first thing to do is slow down that invisible current. Think of it like water flowing too fast through a narrow stream. You don't want to block it, you want to soften it, redirect it, help it swirl and stay. The most effective solution? Place something in the pathway, not to obstruct, but to reshape the flow. A tall indoor plant with broad leaves is a beautiful and natural choice. It softens the line, adds life, and filters movement. If a plant isn't an option, a fabric screen, bookshelf, or even a soft curtain hung tastefully between the door and the window can change everything. You're not creating a wall, you're creating a pause. A moment for energy to breathe before it moves again. Some also find that placing a small rug between the door and the window, with a grounding color like deep earth tones or soft green, can signal to the space and to your own mind. This is where energy lands, this is where it stays. Mirrors should be used with caution. A mirror directly across from the door reflecting the window only doubles the issue. Avoid that. Instead, think softness, think balance. Lighting also plays a role. If the window lets in harsh light at certain hours, soften it with sheer curtains. Let the light diffuse, let it linger. Your space will start to feel less like a hallway and more like a home. What's most important, though, is intention. Once you recognize this layout, don't just adjust the furniture, adjust your awareness. Start treating your home like a container again. Speak gratitude into it. Light a candle near the door at dusk and say, "What enters here may stay, may nourish, may root." These quiet rituals matter. They work not because they're magical, but because they remind your nervous system that you're safe, you're settled. You belong because ultimately a house isn't a passageway. It's a place for arrival, for presence, for dreams to be planted and tended and held. And when energy moves too fast through your space, everything starts to feel slippery. But when you shift the current, just a little, everything starts to slow down, settle in, and support you. So if your front door faces your window, pause and ask, what's rushing past you day after day? What could stay if you made space for it to land? Your answer might not be just about energy, it might be about life itself. Part 5, sharp or harsh objects outside. You feel it even if you don't see it. You may not give it much thought. Outside your window, there's a power pole with wires that cut across the sky, or the edge of a neighbor's roof points directly at your home. Maybe it's a spiked metal fence, a lightning rod, or the corner of a large billboard jutting out across the street. You pass by these things daily, and over time they blend into the background, just part of the landscape. But what if I told you that even when you stop noticing them, your body does? Because sharp, pointed, or aggressive structures aimed at your window don't just alter your view, they quietly disturb your nervous system. This isn't superstition, it's sensory reality. Think of how you react when someone points a finger at you. There's a subtle tension, a sense of being targeted. Your body leans away, your breath shortens. Now imagine that same pointing energy aimed at your home 24/7. You don't see it all the time, but your subconscious does. Your body picks it up as a low-grade threat, and over time, that translates into stress. Not the dramatic kind, but the quiet erosion that shows up in sleep issues, tight shoulders, digestive trouble, or that constant low hum of anxiety you can't explain. People who live in homes with these kinds of poison arrow views often report feeling mentally scattered, like their thoughts won't settle. They start things and lose momentum. They misplace things more often. They feel watched, even when alone. Their relationships feel tense, communication gets reactive, and simple things start to feel like uphill battles. It's not always a direct hit. It's the slow buildup of energetic friction that wears you down without a clear source. What's worse is that we tend to normalize it. We think it's just a fence, or it's outside, it doesn't matter. But your home is a living system, and every window is an opening, not just to light, but to influence. When what you see is sharp, jagged, or aggressive, that energy enters your space too. Your home stops feeling like a sanctuary and starts to feel subtly invaded. But here's the empowering truth. You don't need to move or build walls. You just need to soften the line. Energy, like water, changes based on what it meets. If it meets sharpness, it cuts. But if it meets gentleness, it slows, disperses, and quiets. Start with what you see. If there's a sharp rooftop edge or a pole pointing directly at your window, place a tall, leafy plant in front of it from the inside. Not to hide the view entirely, but to interrupt the energetic path. Think of it as holding up a soft hand to say, "Not this way." You can also hang a wooden wind chime. Its movement and sound diffuse sharpness and help realign flow. A light-colored curtain that filters rather than blocks the view can also make a difference. Some people place a small crystal ball, wooden gourd, or a bowl of sea salt near that window. These are not charms, they're anchors. They give your home a center of gravity where the energy can settle instead of spinning out. What matters most, though, is how you shift your presence in the space. Don't avoid the window, reclaim it. Sit by it. Place something beautiful there. Make it a place of stillness. That action alone begins the transformation, from target to threshold, from stress point to sacred corner. Because this isn't about fear, it's about awareness. When you're aware of what affects you, you stop living at the mercy of invisible currents. You start choosing your space, your mood, your clarity. And when your space reflects softness instead of severity, everything inside of you softens too. So the next time you glance outside and see something sharp, ask yourself, is this what I want entering my day? And if it's not, what gentle change can I make to turn that window back into a wellspring of calm? You'll be surprised how something so small can shift the entire feel of a room, a routine, a life. Part 6, views of trash, drainage, or unclean spaces. The dirt sticks to more than the floor. You might think it's just an eyesore, a dumpster across the alley, a neglected corner of the street with broken furniture and scattered junk, a storm drain that always seems to leak or smell. It's easy to shrug it off. It's outside, not in my house. But if you can see it from your window, it is in your space, maybe not physically, but energetically. Because every day, that view seeps into your home and into you. And over time, the mess outside begins to echo inside, in your thoughts, your health, and your emotional state. The human body responds to its environment in ways we rarely acknowledge. A pile of garbage, even from a distance, sends signals to your nervous system. Decay, danger, disorder. You may not consciously flinch, but your body tightens. Your breath shallows. You feel a little more drained than usual. Over days, weeks, months, that small energetic disruption compounds. It shows up as low-level fatigue, restless sleep, short tempers, headaches, or that creeping sense that life just feels off. People living with constant views of waste or unclean areas often experience emotional heaviness. Their homes might feel darker, more cluttered, harder to keep clean, almost as if the chaos outside is reproducing itself inside. They might struggle with focus, lose motivation, or find it harder to stay hopeful. It's not weakness, it's exposure. You're absorbing more than you realize. This kind of view can even affect relationships. Communication gets tense. People in the home are more easily irritated. Children may become clingy or withdrawn. Seniors may feel more forgetful or low in energy. It's not the trash itself, it's the energy it represents. Stuckness, neglect, things left to rot. When that becomes part of your daily scenery, it quietly writes itself into the emotional script of your home. But the good news is, even when you can't control what's out there, you can absolutely control how it reaches you. The first and most powerful act: interrupt the view. A curtain, a sheer fabric, a light wooden screen, even a row of small plants can act like a filter. You're not ignoring what's there, you're choosing what enters your world. Place green, air-purifying plants near the window. Peace lilies, pothos, or bamboo palms work beautifully. These plants don't just clean the air, they symbolically say, life is welcome here. Add a bowl of sea salt on the windowsill to absorb lingering heaviness. Salt has long been known to ground and neutralize energy. You might also place a white quartz or selenite crystal near the glass, stones known for clearing and uplifting vibrations. Consider sound as part of your shift. A soft wind chime or a calming playlist in the background can help retune the emotional frequency of your space. These aren't decorations, they're recalibrations. You're telling your home, we are not what we see, we are what we choose to feel. And don't forget the power of intention. Before bed or after waking, look toward that window, just briefly, and say something kind, out loud or silently. This home holds light. What's out there does not define what's in here. Words carry weight, and spoken near a threshold like a window, they help set the tone for how energy flows. Because this isn't just about garbage. It's about dignity. It's about refusing to let the energy of neglect enter the place where you rest, eat, heal, and dream. Your home deserves to feel whole, even if the world outside doesn't always reflect that. So the next time you glance out and see something that feels dirty, broken, or hopeless, pause. Then choose something different. Choose to cleanse, to soften, to guard your space with intention and care. You don't have to fix the street. You just have to decide what crosses your windowsill. And in that decision, you begin to rebuild peace, one small view at a time. We often think of healing as something big, something that requires a dramatic life change, a new location, a shift in career, or a major personal breakthrough. But the truth is, healing often begins with something much smaller. Something quiet, like a window. What you see each day, what greets your eyes before your feet touch the floor or as you sip your morning coffee, matters more than you realize. That view isn't just scenery. It's energy, it's information. It shapes your nervous system, your breath, your thoughts. And when that view is blocked, harsh, chaotic, or neglected, your body responds. Even if you don't consciously register it, your mood shifts, your focus weakens. Your sense of peace slowly fades. What we've explored together isn't superstition, it's awareness. These 6 subtle but powerful window alignments are not magical rules, they're patterns. Patterns that come from generations of observation, from understanding that human beings are not separate from their surroundings. Your home isn't just a structure, it's an extension of you. And your window. It's the meeting point between your inner and outer world. If your window faces a rushing road, your energy may feel rushed. If it's covered by overgrown branches, your vision may feel clouded. If it's small and never opened, your dreams may feel stifled. If it aligns with your front door, your resources may slip away. If it faces sharp objects, your nervous system may stay guarded. If it looks out onto trash or decay, your spirit may grow tired. These aren't metaphors, they're mirrors. And once you see the reflection, you can begin to change it. You don't have to renovate your house. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars. You simply need to shift the relationship between your space and your senses. Soften what's harsh, buffer what's fast, open what's been closed, clean what's been ignored. Add something alive where the energy feels stale. Every small change you make to your window view is a message to yourself. I deserve to live in a space that supports me. Because healing doesn't happen all at once. It happens moment by moment, window by window, light by light, until one day you wake up and the room feels different, not because the world outside has changed, but because the way it reaches you has. And maybe that's where real transformation begins, not in escaping what's outside, but in deciding what we allow inside. So take a breath, take a look, and ask yourself, what do I truly want to see every day from the window of my life?